Serious case of FOMO all week, knowing that this climate lab was going on because I am so privileged when I'm in a room of storytellers. And as I look around this room with this creative community, I know that you are telling the stories that are truly going to compel social change. So our story, the one we're here to share with you today, began in April on the shores of Lake Como, this very privileged, beautiful villa that's owned by the Rockefeller Foundation. And it started as a result of my becoming an angry granny. I joined Mary in that movement, and along with also becoming a quite dangerous woman, because as you may or may not know, the most potentially dangerous population on earth are older women. Less to lose, less to prove, impatient for change. And in being impatient for change, I convinced the Rockefeller Foundation that the key to change was to put women leaders together in a room, give them problems to solve, let them share experiences, share learning, and connect around new thinking and new ideas. So we invited 30 of the world's leaders who are on the front lines of government, civil society, art, media, storytelling, and put them in a room together and said, we're going to look at 4 or 5 of the biggest pressing problems in the world and try and come up with a new approach. And we spent 4 days doing that in brainstorming sessions as each of these women brought their own expertise into the room. And at the end of it, Jess stood up and she said, this has been really interesting, human security, peace, food, global health, all these issues that we've talked about, but here's the intersectional center, climate justice. And we had the privilege of Mary Robinson's presence with us and her leadership on this subject, explaining it to us in a new way, that where we as women leaders in that room had a very important role to play. Out of it, Jess and Katharine Wilkinson and many of the other connected women leaders, which is what we call this work, continued the work to create what you're going to hear about today, a declaration which says that we are putting climate justice at the center of our work. And who better to lead that than the intersectional leader on this than Mary Robinson, who I got to know when she was actually running for the presidency of Ireland, a story I got to tell in a documentary. And then she, of course, went on to be the United Nations Commissioner on Human Rights and is now a full-time angry granny and the leader of climate justice. Please welcome Mary Robinson.
Women's Connected Leadership Declaration on Climate Justice, July 2019.
The climate movement cannot succeed without an urgent upsurge in women's leadership across the global south and the global north.
Women and girls are already boldly leading on climate justice, addressing the climate crisis in ways that heal rather than deepen systemic injustices. Yet these voices are often underrepresented and efforts inadequately supported.
Now it's moment to recognize the wisdom and leadership of women and girls. Now it is moment to grow in number and build power. We invite all of our sisters to rise and to lead on climate justice, and for those with relative power and privilege to make space for and support others.
To change everything, we need everyone.